good day, and welcome to Sheena's Fake Fire Advent thoughts. Because why not? So Advent is a really amazing time of year leading up to Christmas, as always. But the thing that Advent is actually about is the ability to wait and the ability to sit even within the unknown, and wait for new life and wait for this birth. And so you're waiting for Jesus, you're waiting for Christ, you're trusting in love. And the thing is our culture is not used to waiting. Our culture's like, oh, I don't want to wait. There's got to be an app for that. We got to figure something out. Just somebody distract me, please. Where you don't find life in that. And so the gospel message is absolutely beautiful, and the gospel message is that of finding a peace and a joy even within the depths of the unknown. And so this weekend's gospel is in the Gospel of Luke, and it can sound kind of confusing, where Jesus is talking about let me just read it. Jesus says, "And there will be strange signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and here on earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. People will be terrified by what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then everyone will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory. So when all these things happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near." And then it says, "Watch out. Don't let your hearts be dulled by carousing and drunkenness, but by the worries of this life. Don't let that catch you unaware like a trap. For the day will come when everyone living on earth keep alert at all times, and pray that you might be strong enough to escape these coming horrors and stand before the Son of Man." Okay, it sounds pretty intense, and it is, because life can be really intense. But this is what I hear from this. You have often heard the phrase, "When the going gets tough, the tough gets going." Like, yeah, the going gets tough, so let's be tougher and pull up those bootstraps and rah rah. But I like the phrase that says, when the going gets tough, you get what you practice. That's huge. It's so true. So this is saying, yes, there are times when the earth shatters beneath us. And there is such a temptation to numb out into drunkenness, or to numb out into gaming, or to just not actually enter the situation. And I mean, sometimes, of course, we need that little mental vacation, definitely. But what this is saying is, to the ability to be able to practice being awake during the times of difficulty, and to just even in the times of goodness, to be able to practice prayer, to be able to practice silence, to practice reading, to practice things that really bring you into your life, to practice sitting in love, and to practice being grateful, and to practice thanking people for things and thanking God for things, and really seeing the goodness. Because the thing is if you fall into the trap, this even says, if you fall into this trap of worry and to this trap of numbing out, you won't be able to see the goodness and the beauty that is around you, even within the difficulties. And that's so very true. So it says, watch out. Do not let your hearts be dulled. Keep awake. Keep alert. Keep practice being able to see the beauty that is all around you, even within the difficulties. Trust and hope in the love that is all around you. And so we begin this Advent season with a message of this is a time where we enter this waiting, to prepare our hearts for God, and to prepare our hearts to be able to see this goodness all around us, and to be able to almost be born into a new innocence, into a new way of seeing our life on Christmas. And so I pray in this Advent season that we are able to try to see what practices we can enter that can help us really enter our lives, and that can help us to be able to know that there is a deep okayness to life. And so I'm going to end by reading this thingerdoodler that I wrote just for fun, because why not? It says, Advent, prepare, waiting, learn to fly even in the midst of struggle. Over time, enter a new innocence and wonder. This is the joy of the gospel. Advent calls us to practice being awake in our lives, choosing to go all the way through our struggles with our hearts set on hope. And here we find one of these deep contradictions that life is full of. We find moments of deep joy and love even in the pain. Here we glimpse the eternal. Here we discover a new type of joy that is beyond words and beyond the feeling that we can become so obsessed over. Here we can find that a new type of innocence can be born. Here we rediscover a self deep within that can continue to enter life, not jaded and bitter, but with eyes of new birth that trust in the arms of love all around. With eyes of vulnerable love like a newborn baby, where we enter the mystery of not knowing everything and not needing to know everything. Where we can know that the only thing we need to do is to let go and allow ourselves to be held, to be swaddled in the love of Christ. This Advent season, may we enter practices that allow us to sit in the arms of love that are already holding us. May we soften our hearts long enough to truly enter the depth of love that we can hear in the silence. May we soften our hearts long enough to truly enter the depth of love that we can hear in the silence. That depth tells us there is a deep okayness to life, to let go and rest in Christ, in love, to discover our hearts anew. From here, we can fly. Grace and peace.